Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
You're listening to Bloomberg Businessweek with Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec on Bloomberg Radio.
I'm Carol Massar along with Matt Miller in for Tim Stenovec on Bloomberg Businessweek Daily on this Monday. Actually here with us for a couple of days. And this is our gift to you. We know how much you love cars.
Thank you.
And the EV space.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really do. You know what? I'm kind of a convert now because I'm an old...
But you don't have an EV yet,
I'm a gearhead. I like to work on my cars myself. I like old American muscle. I like cars to be loud and smell like gasoline and vibrate a lot. But lately, I've been driving a ton of EVs. I drive a new car every week for my podcast. It's called Hot Pursuit with Hannah Elliott. And just the acceleration, the handling has gotten so much better. There's so many more to choose from that it's not just boring looking Teslas with Spartan interiors, that it's become almost a preferred mode of transportation for me. The one problem I have still,
charging. The
charging network is so bad.
Yeah. So we have a guest who's got a front row seat to it. So let's bring him in. Josh Aviv is founder and CEO of SparkCharge. He's out there in Massachusetts. Josh, good to have you here with Matt. Get ready for a grilling because it is Matt Miller.
We're ready. We're ready.
Listen, your company reminds us that it is the world's largest EV fleet charging network. Lay it out for us, where it is, how many, who's using it. Give us some size and scope.
Absolutely. So SparkCharge is the world's largest off-grid EV fleet charging network. We have operations across all 50 states and recently just launched in Canada and Mexico. What makes us special is that we bring the power to the fleet. So we show up with our off-grid mobile battery chargers and mobile power hubs. We can get going without any grid connection, which means we get fleets up and running and charging in as little as 3 to 7 days versus them having to wait as much as 2 to 3 years for infrastructure to catch up.
So you're the biggest off-grid EV charging network.
What does that mean?
Meaning you're not the consumer chargers that are built up in malls or next to a Starbucks. You're working with like Ford Pro kind of customers to charge their trucks.
Exactly.
So you're working with construction fleets, with plumbers, with electricians, with
Amazon?
anybody who's got a pro fleet. Yeah.
Amazon.
Wow.
Fleets like Amazon, last mile delivery, rideshare fleets as well, construction fleets, rental car fleets, school bus fleets. Think about the problem that consumers have where they're like, hey, I need to figure out how to charge one car. Fleets have the issue of how do I charge 20 cars, 100 cars, and how do I do that every day to keep my business going? And we step in and we basically get them up and running quicker than any other electrification option on planet Earth. We can get a full fleet up and running in as little as 3 days, fully electrified, and those cars out on the road.
Dude, that is such a great business. How did you start this?
Yeah, so we started it when we realized that a lot of fleets were waiting anywhere from 2 to 5 years before the grid would catch up and allow them to electrify. And we said, well, what happens if we bring the energy to you, or if we get power set up to where we can use our batteries to get you charging almost immediately? What we realized is that fleets, they'll incorporate 50 cars, they'll incorporate 20 cars, but then they'll have the issue of going to the grid and saying, hey, we want to get these cars electrified, but the grid can't handle the demand of all these vehicles. And so we show up, we get them up and going with our mobile battery chargers, which means they're charging from a giant battery connected to charging stations. And then they're able to get up and running a lot quicker. And then they also have a smoother service, right? There's no such thing as grid delays or power outages, especially when it's being battery backed. All the energy is there.
Wait, so you just kind of bring a massive battery to places and that's how you do it?
Is it on 18 wheels? How do you transport that?
Yeah, so some of them are trailer-based, some of them are container-based, but basically we can get that fleet set up operating off that battery, and then they can begin charging from those charging stations immediately. We also have power hubs that use basically clean energy like hydrogen and things like that can also get a fleet up and running quickly as well.
That's what I was going to, so how do you charge your battery? That's what I'm curious. Like, where are you getting the power and how do you make sure it's cost efficient, especially when there's such a power grab right now with all the AI going on?
Absolutely. So we're pretty much energy agnostic. So that means that we can grab energy from solar, which a lot of times that's what we'll do. We'll swap the battery out. So we'll basically have a battery recharging from a solar partner. We'll bring it in. we'll swap it out with a fresh battery and then keep that fleet going 24/7, 365. To the fleet, it looks like limitless energy, and we're managing all the power on the back end, which means they never have to worry about downtime or any operational inefficiencies. We're constantly swapping that battery out or hooking it up to solar to keep them going.
I'm normally pretty skeptical, but I was like, wow, what a cool company, what a great idea. And now I realize he's just a great pitch man also, right? I didn't see until now that you got $1 million investment from Mark Cuban and Lori Greiner on Shark Tank. You've won various awards too. So you're great at selling these businesses, Josh. But
there has to be demand, otherwise you don't have a business.
No, for sure. No, it's huge. And I mean, look at how well Ford Pro has done with that unit. It's just unbelievable, the growth. But what's your exit? I mean, are you looking to IPO this company? Will you sell it to a bigger company? How do you get Mark Cuban his money out?
Yeah, so I mean, right now we're really just focused on execution. We're having an amazing year, thank God. And we're really seeing fleets come to us and say, hey, we want to get going a lot quicker. We don't want to wait. And so we're having an amazing year. I think for us, the right exit will present itself. But right now, we're focused on scale. We're focused on making sure our customers are happy and making sure that we're onboarding a new fleet. Keep in mind, because we're not waiting on the grid to catch up, because we're able to service these fleets, we're almost onboarding a new fleet every week. So, while we don't come out there and say it, we're probably one of the fastest growing EV charging networks out there as well.
Wait. Execution, no offense, it's a pet peeve for me when an executive says execution. I don't know what that means. It's like everybody dumps things into that word.
They just want to grow their business, and they don't want to tell you what their exit is.
So tell us, what does that mean? What do you need to do? What do you need to hit? What targets in order to really be successful and sustainable longer term?
Absolutely. So for us, success is making sure that when we get a fleet operational, we're getting them operational to where they can actually grow their fleet. A lot of times fleets will come to us and they'll say, hey, I'm starting out with 10 cars, but my goal is to get to 100 cars. And the grid can't keep up with that growth. Plus the time to install is going to take me 3 to 5 years at that number of vehicles. So for us, execution means, hey, get this fleet up and running in 3 to 7 days, get them fully electrified. And then now that they're fully electrified and they want to grow their fleet, let's grow with them. Let's allow them to go from 10 vehicles to 20, 20 to 50, 50 to 100, and see long-term growth with that fleet partner over a number of years as they continue to grow and operate. And because we're getting them up and running quicker, we want them to see a better ROI than if they had to wait on infrastructure to catch up.
All right, so we're speaking right now with Josh Aviv. He's the founder and CEO of SparkCharge, if you're just joining us, out of Massachusetts. And I know that you're focused on, the pro, the commercial fleets, but you must also love cars. I've been in a ton of EVs lately. I was in a Chevy Blazer EV SS. I was in a Dodge Charger Daytona Scat Pack, which I loved. Right now I'm in a Cadillac Vistic, which I'm also just really positively surprised by. What do you drive? What's your DD, Josh?
I drive a 2026 Cadillac Vistic.
The Vistic is pretty sick, isn't it? I was truly impressed by this vehicle.
I love it.
I didn't love the Escalade IQ as much, which is the bigger EV. It's
massive.
It's a giant. It's like a giant house on wheels. But the Vistic is relatively snappy for a car that can still hold like 7 people. What do you do for your charging when you're on the road, when you're going around, to make work trips and you can't just be charging at home every night? What's your experience been with the U.S. Consumer charging network?
Yeah, so I'd say, when it comes to road trips and things like that, one of the things that I love about the Vistic, it's got, I think, real world mileage, roughly around 330 miles of range. And so I've been able to go from basically Boston down to New Jersey and almost all the way back on a single charge.
Wow.
Without having to stop. And I love it. I love it. I love the Super Cruise on it. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the best EVs I've driven. And I've owned, I think, close to 10 EVs in my lifetime. So love that car. I think when it comes to, travel charging, I've typically used the Tesla Supercharger network or Electrify America, any of your standard EV charging networks.
So what do you make of the state of kind of EVs in America under this administration, which seems to have been pulling back?
There's a lot of backlash. It seems like sales
Credits.
have slowed down, but
what do you
is
see?
there any doubt in your mind, Josh, that we're all driving EVs in 10 years?
There's no doubt in my mind. I think what it's going to come down to is the economics of owning an EV, right? I think that's real. And I think that probably should have been the focal point from day one, right? Look how much money you're going to save when you're charging at home, right? Look at the time saved not having to go to the gas station, right? Look at the experience of just being able to plug in when you pull in to your driveway, right? I think that is really going to come down to it. And if you think about it, the low cost of maintenance, right? I can't remember the last time I went to a mechanic for an oil change. I can't remember the last time I went to a mechanic because the engine light came on and I didn't know what that meant, right? The low cost of ownership for an electric vehicle is ultimately going to push more people to own electric vehicles. And I think that is why in the next 10 years, we are all going to be driving EVs, is because they're going to save so much money to the consumer.
Carol will switch when they drive themselves. She wants her own personal Waymo at her house in Jersey City.
I do love Waymo, but I do like I do like the idea of EVs. I don't want to, I'm concerned about the environment. Hey, Josh, stay in touch. Josh Aviv, founder and CEO of SparkCharge, joining us from Massachusetts.
We got to get him on my podcast on Hot Pursuit with Hannah Elliott.
No. Yes, you could. Yeah, we'll share.